Good morning. This is day 3 of our trip through Utah and Salt Lake City. Today we're starting off in Moab, Utah, a small city about 6 minutes south of Arches National Park. If you saw my videos from yesterday, you know my adventure in the park didn't go according to plan. Nothing better to see than your own car. Let's get out of here. So today, 9:30 in the morning, significantly earlier than it was yesterday when we finally left. We're going back to the park. We're going to see all the sights. I decided we're going to skip out on going to Monument Valley. It's just too far away. But we might catch a couple of cool things on our way back to Salt Lake City. It is a 3.5 hour drive, maybe a 4.5 hour drive, so it's going to take us a while to get back. So start early today and get on the road as soon as we can. So we're back in Arches National Park. We paid for our pass this time, and apparently the pass lasts for 7 days. So I offered to buy 2 passes since I was here last night. She said, no, don't worry about it. So it all kind of worked out at the end. I'm glad I didn't have to call and explain how I got lost in the park and didn't have to pay. That'd been weird. Anyway, we're at the visitor center now. I think I might go inside, see if they have a water bottle I could buy, because I think I might need one today, judging from last night. And we'll get on our journey. We'll probably skip over Balancing Rock, since we saw it last night. The park is a lot more busy today than it was yesterday, surprisingly. I thought a Monday in February, I guess it's March now, a Monday in March would be pretty quiet, but apparently it's busy. So that's all right. So I decided to go back to Balanced Rock because I wanted to see it more in the daylight. And actually the drive out here is a lot nicer than it was last night, just because, I can see where I'm going. And also, I bought this after what happened last night. I thought, hey, it's a good idea to have someone with me, just in case. I also bought a couple other things at the gift shop. What's nice about the gift shop is that they will round up your dollar if you want and donate the change to the park. I think that's a great idea. It's like 60 cents to the park. That's nothing for me, but it probably adds up and does a world of difference to the park. So I think that's wonderful. So if you do plan to come to Arches, that's a great way to give some extra money. Although, you do also pay to come in, so they're getting some of your money already. Either way, we're at Balancing Rock, and we're going to start our journey through the park in the daylight today. It's going to be so much better. We're also here at about 20 after 10, which means we're here about 7 hours earlier than we were yesterday. So we have a lot of daylight to play with today. So although I was seeing about 7 places on my list, I think we'll take a couple other trips while we're in the park, since we have so much time today as well. So, we drove to Delicate Arch, the parking lot where I was yesterday. But no, with my knowledge I gained from yesterday's experience, I know that there's another viewpoint about a mile up the road, which is a lot closer. It's not right in on level with the arch like the other one was from last night, but I'm not doing that again. So we're going to go to this viewpoint instead, and I think we can see it from above. We'll find out. I've never been here before. We'll see how it looks. But we're in a different parking lot this time, but it's just, I think it's only a short walk. Then again, I thought last night was going to be a short walk too. So we're walking to the viewing area of Delicate Arch. This is a little bit up the road from where I was last night. I don't know how far this pathway is. I'm hoping it's not 1.5 miles. We'll find out soon though. But it's such a nice day today. Way nicer than last night, and so much easier to see. And this path actually has guardrails on it, or fencing, so you don't wander off by accident and get lost and almost die to wolves. That happens to everybody, right? How far is it? It's an easy 5-minute walk. For comparison, yesterday we were here we walked all the way up to here and then got lost somewhere around here. Today we're here. We're walking here, then we're gonna walk up to here, and then we're not coming back this arch ever again. So here's the sign for the delicate arch. And there it is. So I think we're gonna do the other path, see if we can get a little bit closer. What's really sick though, and you can't really see this on my camera, is all the people that are over by that arch. How did they do it? Probably didn't get lost, but that's sick. That's a horrible hike. We'll see if we can't take the other one and maybe get a little bit closer, because I really want to see it up close, because you really can't see it from here. So you reach the top of the trail, and then this gentleman told me if I walked a bit more over to the right, I could see the arch kind of open up. Still disappointed about how close we are to the arch, but I think I've had enough of this arch by now. There's a lot of the places I want to go to in this park, and this arch has caused me enough grief as it is. And to see all those people just casually walking around it. Oh, I'm just tired of looking at this arch. It's a nice arch. It's a nice delicate arch. But I'm done with it. So the hike up here, it wasn't as bad as the yesterday's hike, but as you can tell, I'm a little out of breath. I'd prefer if I didn't have to hike any more today, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. So that's 2 down for the day, 4 or 5 left to go. We just got back from the 2 short hikes to Delicate Arch, and neither of them were very impressive. They both were still pretty far away from the arch. The second of the 2 was especially long. I'd say it was about 1.5 miles. Maybe a mile. It wasn't as long as the one from last night, but it was still pretty long, and I'm still pretty tired from it. I would almost recommend doing the long one I did last night, but I recommend, of course, doing it in the day. Just because you get right up to the arch, these ones, they're shorter, but you're so far away. Unless you have a great zoom on your lens, you're not seeing much of anything. So I actually would recommend the one from last night. Just because you're putting all the effort to get there, you might as well actually see it. But I don't think I'm doing the one from last night again today. I think I'm done with Delicate Arch for now. I think I'm just gonna go to the next location instead. I'm walking through Devils Garden campsite right now. I was right at the trail, and then I saw the sign that said it is the longest trail in the park. Over 11 kilometers. The parts of it are the least developed. And I thought to myself, that's the opposite of never wanting to go another hike again. So I thought I'll come here, get some water, because the water station there was still winterized, and prepare myself for probably the most exhausting part of this entire trip, which is saying a lot. So here's the trail we're doing today. We are here right now. Sorry. And what we want to see for sure is the landscape arch here. This Devil Gardens Trail is the next part of it. But as you see here on the description, it's more difficult. You're on top of narrow tops of exposed sandstone. Not recommended for hikers with fear of heights. So maybe not. We won't get too far into that. But if it's not that bad, I hope to get up here to Dark Angel. But even then, we'll see how that goes, because in the red part says that this part is very undeveloped. So we'll see how it goes, see how far we get today. So I was hiking up this path on my way to the arch, and this gentleman was coming down. He said to me, "Oh, I see you made it out alive." And I realized he was one of the last people I saw before I had gone up to the arch last night. It was him, and then there's a group of 3 guys, and then that was it. And I was alone in the park. And he said he was kind of worried about me if I was going to make it out. So it was good to see him again, and I'm glad he remembered me. And now he can rest easy knowing that I survived barely, but I made it out. I'm glad to know he did too. I don't know how much further is to where we're going. He said it was a nice hike, and I don't know what he said about how he felt about the last one. So we'll see how this one goes. It was actually kind of funny because he said the same thing that I was complaining about on the hike, that it wasn't very well marked. It was hard to see, especially in this one area where it's like just sheer rock. And he also overshot the arch as well, so it wasn't just me. Good to know experienced hikers have trouble with that as well. And in fact, everyone I've talked to since last night have said that that hike is like the hardest in the park. So I guess I wish I would have known that before I tried it. Oh well. Now you know too, so prepare yourself for that one. So we just arrived at Landscape Arch, and I didn't know about this, but back in 1991, September 1st, 1991 to be exact, a part of the arch broke off. And I think it's, you can see it, that part there, it's not really in focus, but that part there broke off. And you have a picture of it breaking off here actually, that day. So when all the rock and stone fell off that part of the arch, it blocked the path, and it's been blocked ever since. So it's been blocked almost 30 years, and it still is impassable. So I don't know where the path is going to take us, actually. Over there, maybe then back, maybe it's a dead end path, I don't know. We'll find out though as we go that way and see what we can find. So this here is Landscape Arch, Utah's most famous geological formation. You can see on the right side here is where the stones fell off back in 91. And you can see the sign here that says do not go beyond the fence line. And the old path here, which is slowly being reclaimed by nature, as it's been almost 30 years since it fell. Very cool to see. So I'm looking at the sign that says that Double O Arch is 1.1 miles that way. So what's that way? I look, I see on top of the hill, hard to see people climbing up that cliff. It goes straight up. That is going to be terrible. But I want to see Devil's Garden, so I guess we have to go that way. So I'm on top of this high rock, about halfway from, well actually there's the arch there, so maybe not halfway. A ways up the hill. It was a difficult climb, but the view is spectacular. Only about another mile left to go before we get to the Devil's Garden. This has been easier than the other hike, but a lot more steep. So here's the sign for the path to the Double O Arch. And here's the trail. I guess we're climbing. We are on our way to Navajo Arch, which is one of the two kind of like side stop arches on the way to the Double O Arch. It's a great hike. It's nice. It's not that bad. It's not like earlier. The one thing that's confusing me though is I saw online that Devil's Garden had these like hoodoo looking stone structures, but I haven't seen any. And when I asked this guy, I'm like, hey, how much for the Devil's Garden? He said, well, you're already in it. I'm like, this is not what I saw on Google. So maybe they're further up, closer to Double O Arch. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. This is I think this is a 0.2 mile hike to this arch, and then back to the main path. And then a 0.9 mile hike to Double O Arch. And I think a 0.6 mile hike to Dark Angel, which I think we're going to get to because it hasn't been that bad so far. One part was terrible. It was horrible. It hasn't been that bad. We'll see how it goes. This is Navajo Arch. One of the few arches actually in the park that you can go inside of. It is quite windy inside, so you might not be able to hear me. not much in here. A tree and a bit of a stream for a river on the far side of this space. I imagine it floods in here whenever it rains because of that. See the tree way at the top there. So it must just be a great riverbed. And here is the arch. It's really windy in here and very cold compared to just outside. Actually, I questioned if I should film in here because it's so cold and so windy, but I thought, well, I've talked about Navajo Arch a bunch. I might as well go show you guys inside of it. So that's Navajo Arch. Now we have to walk 0.3 miles back and we can start our way to Double O Arch. So, I just talked to a group of about 5 people and they said that it's just kind of around this bend. And then it's about another 0.6 miles till the Dark Angel. And then we have to go all the way back again. So, not too much further, I think. I'm excited to see Double O Arch and then to see the Dark Angel too. Hopefully we get out of here before it gets too dark, unlike last night, but we'll see how it goes. Took a while to get here, but that's Double O Arch. Took a couple of wrong turns, but it's hard to mistake it when you see it. Wow. So we're on our way to Dark Angel, the last stop of the hike. I just passed a group of people who told me it's not that far away, but I've heard that before, so we'll see how it goes. I just did some quick math before filming, and once I'm done at Dark Angel, it's a 2.6 mile hike back. And I'm starting to realize miles are a lot longer than kilometers. So, I hope I get out of here in time, keeping in mind I still have a 4-hour drive ahead of me back to Salt Lake City. But I think we're almost got all the spots done. There'll probably be one more place we go visit on our way out of the park, but we'll see how we are with time. So we did it. After hours of hiking. It's about 4 o'clock now, 10 to 4, so we've been at this for 5 hours. Maybe less, 4 or 5 hours. We finally made it. The end of the trail, the Dark Angel. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a hieroglyphic, not a giant stone. Very impressive though. It was a 2.6 mile hike here. Parts of the trail were not visible. They were not. It was hard to understand where to go. Lots of going up, lots of going down. Very exhausting process, but worth every minute. It was fun. I'm worried that by the time I get back to the car, it'll be about 7. It'll be getting dark. I want to spend about 20 minutes here just relaxing, catching my breath, and then hiking back. And then after I get back, it's still a 4-hour drive back to Salt Lake City. So today is a very long day of hiking and then sitting. It's been maybe an hour and a half since we left Dark Angel. But now we're finally at one of the arches, which means we're back on the original path, the first path, and we have nice wooden railings the rest of the way back to the parking lot. That means no more wandering off into caverns, no more wandering off to places that shouldn't be going. Great. And there's the arch. Well, we did it. We are walking out of the canyon now. It took a long time to hike from the beginning all the way to Dark Angel. I'd say it is 6 o'clock. So it took us about
4 hours to get there and about 2 hours to get back because we didn't stop at everything. Oh, that was a long hike. Let's look at this again. So we are here. This was Landscape Arch. These two, I took an accidental path between them. I went back and it's like between the two arches. So I had to go back and then walk down again. And then we got to there, and then we got to there. And we did it. And now we are going to drive to the campsite, fill up my water bottle, and then probably drive back to Moab, and then get some gas and get some food and get on the road, because it's still a 4-hour drive back to Salt Lake City to fly out again tomorrow morning. So this might be the final video of this trip. It was fun. I had a blast. A lot of unexpected surprises, a lot of unexpected challenges, but we survived. I survived because you're watching this, so I guess we all survived. So until next time, this is Kenton DeYoung from Kenton DeYoung Travel, and I'll see you on the next adventure, wherever it is.